Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you have been a subscriber from ages ago and have patiently waited for me to upload a new video, because I haven't done one for ages and ages, and I know that it's been probably about a year. But I've decided to try and restart my channel. I'd really like to do that. The reason I haven't been around is really just life got in the way. I was very busy with work, busy with family. We were renovating a couple of rooms in our house, so space for filming was very difficult to find. And also I didn't have the best equipment, and I found that my memory cards and things like that were getting full up, and I was losing footage, so it just became a bit of a stress and hard work to film consistently. So I had a little break, but I've really been missing it, and I really wanted to come back and start filming some videos again. I decided to start today with a video about contemporary bags versus luxury bags, and that is continuing a conversation that a few other YouTubers have been having recently. So before we get into that, I'll just say hello again to everyone. My name's Claire. I used to put out videos on luxury bags and accessories. So if that's your thing, then that's what I want to start doing again. So please click on the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll know when I do upload a new video, which hopefully the next one will not be a year apart from this one. So yeah, back to the topic. I don't know if any of you know Dayle's Addiction, who is an amazing YouTuber down in Australia. I'm a big fan of her channel, and I'm going to link her video, her channel below. She did a Q&A recently, and one of the questions she got was from another YouTuber, a YouTuber that's here in the UK called Styled by Gwenny, and she's an absolute hoot. I love her channel as well, so I'm going to link her channel down below. And she asked Dayle, would you reach for a contemporary bag, given that you've got all these luxury bags? Dayle's collection is amazing. She's got this collection that is what she calls classics with a twist. Very colourful, a really interesting collection. It's the sort of collection I would like to have, but would just not suit my style and my lifestyle and the weather we have here in the UK. So you know, I can admire her handbags from afar. Styled by Gwenny said, given you've got these luxury bags, would you ever reach for a contemporary bag? And then Addiction Beckman, who is another YouTuber, really fantastic YouTuber from Texas, I think, in the States, she said that would be a great topic to talk about on YouTube, to do a kind of collab video. So her and Gwenny then did their own videos about this topic, and again I'll link Autumn's down below with the others. And she said in her video, not really making it a tag video, but if anyone else out there, any YouTubers that have their own channel and would like to carry on the conversation, then please feel free to do so. What Autumn did in her video, she kind of went through her luxury bag journey as such, to talk about what sort of bags she was buying at what points in her life, and I thought that was quite interesting, and it might be something that I could do on this video, because I've never shared with anybody my sort of luxury bag journey as such. The videos I did put out previously were kind of looking at particular bags, doing comparisons, that sort of thing. So I thought it might be nice to do a little bit of a chatty video, give my history and also my take on the luxury v contemporary. Autumn and Gwenny had quite different takes. Dayle had a different take again, so I'm not going to say anything about their takes. You need to go and watch their videos, obviously, after you've watched mine. So my luxury handbag journey, well, I've always been interested in handbags ever since I was a little girl. I love bags. When I was in my 20s, I was working in a corporate environment, so I used to see a lot of the older women who were more affluent and had perhaps made it rather more than I had, carrying their fancy bags. And although I worked fairly locally, I did have to travel to London quite a bit for work. So when I worked up in London, I would see even more women with their fancy bags. And I guess that's what started my love of sort of designer bags and my desire to have a designer bag. It wasn't necessarily that I wanted the name or the logo. I just wanted to feel good. I wanted to have that quality, that really nice bag that kind of pulled together an outfit. And back then I had this feeling that, you know, I could get one bag, one amazing designer bag that would would cater for everything, that would take me from work to, you know, going out in the evening. I could wear casually, I could wear for fun. And you know, us handbag lovers, that bag doesn't exist, because you get one bag and you always want more, you always want another, and there's not one magic bag that kind of suits every single occasion. Although there are some bags that come close. But anyway, I was in a position where I had come into a little bit of money with some shares that I'd got maturing, and I was moving house at the time, so most of that money was going into my new house and was going into furniture, and you know, I had to buy a fridge and things like that. I had a little bit left over, and I really felt the need to treat myself, because, you know, I had been buying large value items like a fridge. This is a necessity, that's not really a treat, and I felt like I wanted to buy something for myself. So I went up to London, and I had a bit of a thing with Gucci at that time. I really liked the Gucci brand. I walked into the Gucci boutiques, first time I'd ever been in a luxury boutique, and we're talking, I'm trying to remember now, I think we're talking late 1990s. Edit Claire here, I checked, and it was 1998. And I was treated really, really well. They really were lovely. And I ended up buying my first designer bag, which was this one. Now, this is beautiful Italian leather, kind of in the Louis Vuitton Alma shape. Doesn't have any sort of strap, literally just these two handles. Got this beautiful clasp here, you know, which you just opened up like that. And then you had two zipper pulls. I've got it stuffed in there, and it was just one compartment inside. And this bag, my very first designer handbag, the most I'd ever spent on a handbag, and I remember it very well, it was £425, and that was such a lot of money back then. It really was. But I really just fell in love with this bag. You can see it's very well used. There's lots of little dents and marks on the leather. I used it to death. I did actually buy, and I've got it here somewhere if I can find it, the matching purse as well, and that was, I believe that was £185. So the two together, just over £600. And yeah, I never regretted it. It was a bit of a shock to the system spending that much, but yeah, I never regretted it. And I used those two items constantly. That was my perfect corporate work bag, and I took that to work for many, many years, because it was quite a lot of time then before I actually bought another designer bag. But it did fuel my appetite for designer bags. But at that time, although I loved my designer handbag, I didn't really feel I could justify you know, spending more money on designer handbags. I had, you know, lots of commitments, and it just felt too irresponsible. But it was about the time that eBay was taking off, and I started buying what I thought were designer items on eBay. Now, this was a long time before there was the sort of protections that you have now, a long time before you had the PayPal protection as a buyer, before there were online authenticators and things like that. And I did buy some Gucci and some Louis Vuitton handbags, which of course turned out to be fake. Now, I didn't spend or didn't pay an awful lot of money for them, which perhaps should have been the first red flag, but I was naive. I just thought they were cheaper because they were on the pre-loved on the second-hand eBay market, and I thought, oh, you know, that's why they're cheaper. When they arrived, obviously I could see the quality wasn't up to the quality of the designer bags I did have. I could see it was well below, but you know, there was no returns guarantee or anything like that, so I was stuck with these bags. So I just used them, and I have to say the quality was so dreadful. They just fell apart. If I used a bag consistently for a few months, it would just fall apart. And really, I kind of got to the point where I didn't want to carry fake bags anymore. I thought to myself at that point, I'd actually rather just carry a high street bag than carry a fake designer bag. If I can't afford the genuine designer bag, then, you know, I carry the high street bag. I then did start to perhaps look at some of those more contemporary bags, and I bought bags such as this, like this Jaeger bag, and you know, and I bought Longchamp. You know, I've got quite a few sort of these long Longchamp lit pliage foldable totes. I've got some other sort of Longchamp special edition bags, and I started sort of carrying those bags because they were a bit more affordable, and I felt a bit more justified spending that sort of money on those bags. There was also those of you in the UK may remember designers at Debenhams, and you'd get people like Jasper Conran, John Rocker designing bags and selling them in Debenhams at kind of slightly higher than normal high street bag prices, but cheaper obviously than the designer bags. So I bought quite a few of those bags. I've since sold quite a few of those myself on eBay. But you know, that's the sort of bag I was going for at that point, because I just couldn't really afford to look at the designer bags. At that point I was a stay-at-home mum, and I remember there was one year I was really looking at Louis Vuitton bags, and I was bemoaning to my husband that, you know, I'd got saddled with these fakes in the past, and, you know, I just didn't want that to happen again, but I really wanted a Louis Vuitton bag. And he actually said to me that he would buy me my first Louis Vuitton bag. And you know, I had no disposable income myself, so I was so grateful, and he bought me my very first genuine Louis Vuitton bag, which for many years was the most used and favourite bag that I had. And I would have said that if I could have got rid of every other bag, this would be the bag that I would keep. Now this is the Totally PM. I've used this, and you can see the leather, the vachetta leather has patinaed, it's got lots of marks on it, the corners have curled up. You know, I've been out in all weathers in this bag. I've taken this on holidays, days out. You know, it was very well used, and it still is well used. If I need a larger bag for a day out, then this is the sort of the tote bag I would choose. It's a smaller tote bag. It's obviously smaller than the Neverfull MM, which is quite a popular Louis Vuitton bag, and I do actually prefer it because it's got the zip at the top, so you can zip everything in. I can get the vachetta changed to like nice brand new, but I don't really want to actually, because these marks and this patinaed vachetta kind of tells the story of the bag. I look at it and I remember the family holidays that I took it on and things like that, and how I used it when my little boy was little, because he's not that little anymore. So that was my first Louis Vuitton bag, and so I'd got my, you know, at that point I got my two really nice designer bags, Gucci and Louis Vuitton, and I just started then kind of wanting to buy designer bags rather than high street bags, and so I started saving up what money I could, and that's when I found Mulberry, and I really fell in love with Mulberry bags, and I bought my first Mulberry bag full price, but then I realised they have a sale, 2 sales a year, every January and June. My birthday's in December, so I used to save up my birthday money that I was gifted and any Christmas money I was gifted, and I'd often do a bit of shopping in the Mulberry sale in January, sometimes in June if I had the money, and I built up quite a good Mulberry collection. One of my favourite Mulberry bags is here. This is the Freya. This is discontinued now. Nice shoulder black leather bag, beautiful leather, and I use this a lot. I also got the Freya in a kind of a mushroomy taupey colour, and I got them on sale as well, so a little bit cheaper than normal price. So for many years I would save my money and I built up my collection of Mulberry, but my heart also always belonged to Louis Vuitton and Gucci, and so again I started to look at Louis Vuitton and Gucci bags, and I started to buy more of them as well as I could afford them.
Edit Claire here again. I should say that I was working again by this point.
When it comes to Chanel, well, I absolutely love Chanel. I always loved Chanel bags, and I always wanted a Chanel bag, but I always felt they were out of my reach. I remember many years ago, and this is probably in the early to mid 1990s, standing in front of the New Bond Street boutique in London and gazing in the window at this bag, which was probably a reissue or a classic flap. It was certainly the sort of the rectangle quilted bag with a flap, and just thinking how gorgeous that was and how I wanted that bag. At the time, it was £800. Now, £800 back then to me was a couple of months' mortgage payments. It was a few months' salary. You know, it was just, you know, it was such a lot of money. And to think about dropping £800 on a bag. Now, that same bag is what, with the latest price increase, knocking on the door of £7,000. You know, it was probably worth it back then, but obviously, you know, you don't know what the future holds. Who could have predicted that those handbags would be the price they are today? And at that time, that was too much money to pay for a handbag. However, in recent years, I have started to think that Chanel is achievable for me because of the pre-loved market. I've bought Louis Vuitton on the pre-loved market, got on very well with those, always had my bags authenticated, and I have in the last couple of years bought Chanel on the pre-loved market. You saw me unbox my very first Chanel, the GST. I do use that, and I love it, and that kind of again just kicked off my love of Chanel again, and I have bought some Chanel handbags in the last couple of years, pre-loved, which I'd like to share with you on future videos. But that is where I am now in terms of my luxury handbag journey. I keep putting it in air quotes because it's not a journey, it's just buying stuff, it's just consumerism, it's not a journey. But you know what I mean. If you're a luxury YouTuber or you watch luxury YouTubers, you know what I mean. So back to the actual question that was asked in these videos and the discussion to have was, would I reach for a contemporary bag given that I've got all these luxury bags? Well, on the whole, no. Only in certain circumstances. So for example, I showed you my Jaeger bag. You know, this is a lovely bag. If you just heard a squeak then, that's because one of my handbags fell on top of my cat, who is sitting here with me. I do apologise. That's Toffee, one of my cats. So I don't reach for that Jaeger bag, even though it's lovely, because I've got other sort of black handbags that I would go for now, you know, luxury handbags. I don't even reach for that first Gucci bag anymore, because that's a little bit bigger than the sort of handbags I've got now. But I'll give you an example. One of my favourite bags is my Saint Laurent small Lulu. Now you've seen this bag that I have in the toy size, and when I bought the toy size, I loved it, and I've told you on a video before how much I love that bag, but it's a little bit too small for me for an everyday going out bag. So not long after I bought it, I actually bought myself the small Lulu, which is a little bit bigger and has the flexibility in terms of being able to wear it on the shoulder or being able to wear it crossbody. And I think in a future video will do a comparison between this bag and the toy, to kind of show the main differences in the size difference, what you can fit in this one as opposed to the smaller one. But if I want a really nice black bag, I will reach for this one because I feel it's very classy. I love wearing it. It's not too big, it fits what I need to take out, and I just prefer this particular bag. So I have to be honest and say that I don't really reach for those sort of more contemporary bags that I have still got on an every day-to-day basis. When I will use a contemporary bag, when I will perhaps use my Longchamp Le Pliage foldable bag, is when I'm going somewhere where I just don't want to be noticed with a designer bag. I do have a couple of places I have to go in the area where we live, and I just don't want to be carrying a designer bag because I feel that it makes me a target, it makes me stand out. So I'd much rather carry a plainer, simpler bag that doesn't get noticed so much. So that's kind of the situation when I would reach for a contemporary bag. And the other time I would take not even a contemporary bag, not a designer bag, is when I go camping. My son and I go camping a couple of times a year to these events, and we leave the tent, and I have to sometimes leave my bag in the tent, and I'll take this, which is just an inexpensive sort of non-leather tote bag, and I'll take this when I go camping, because there's no way I'm leaving a designer bag or even a vaguely expensive bag in a tent that cannot be locked. You know, I take nothing really of any value with me when we go. The only valuable thing I've got is perhaps my phone, and that stays with me when I leave the tent, but I have to leave other items in the tent, so there's no way I would leave anything valuable in an unlocked space like that. So I do have a few of those kind of very, very cheap bags to use in that circumstance. So you know, in summary, yes, I will reach for my contemporary bags when the circumstances dictate that that is perhaps a better bag to reach for. But in all other circumstances, I will always pick one of my designer bags. I will pick my Saint Laurent bags if I want to go a little bit more low key. I will pick my Gucci Soho Disco if I want to go a little bit low key. If I don't mind it being a bit more noticeable, then I will probably pick a Louis Vuitton, maybe with the monogram, or the Damier Ebene, and I might pick a Chanel bag. I haven't really been buying any contemporary bags because I feel if I buy a £200-400 contemporary bag, I probably won't use it, and I would rather save that money and put it towards a luxury bag. That could pay for, you know, a quarter of a Saint Laurent bag, and I'd rather save that money and wait longer until I've saved up enough to buy the designer bag. Anyway, I don't know if I've answered the question, but I've given you an idea of my thoughts on luxury versus contemporary, discussed my handbag journey. I hope I haven't bored you to tears. I'm going to come back with videos, maybe like some comparisons, like I said, showing you some of the new bags I've bought over the last year or so since I've last seen you all. So yeah, hopefully I'll get back to those videos soon. And you can pop down in the comments below what sort of videos you might like to see from me. Thanks to Dayle, Autumn and Gwenny for kind of inspiring this video. And those three ladies have also kind of inspired me to start my channel back up again as well. You know, as well as some of the other YouTubers that I regularly watch. I just sort of thought I want to get back into this. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed me being back. If you have, please give this video the thumbs up. And as I said, please subscribe, click the notification bell, and I really look forward to talking to you more, doing some more videos and seeing you on the next one. So bye everyone.